Hey everyone, welcome back to another IntoBridge challenge set. We have a preempting partner and our own suit. So I would consider a bump to three hearts, but not vulnerable. Leah does like to open some five-card suits, more so than even I do, I would say. And with 12 points and four spades, there's a decent chance that the opponents may just stay out of the auction and we can buy it in two hearts. And even if they do bid, I can make the decision to compete to three hearts later, and I probably won't have lost that much, given that, I have good enough hand. So I'll go ahead and pass, and hopefully we buy it in two. We do not. And now I have the interesting decision of, do I compete? And if I'm going to compete, maybe I bid three clubs instead of three hearts. And this this Leah thinks this shows heart shortness, which I don't love, because I might be bidding three hearts to make. Bidding three hearts to make, then I don't really want to, play in something with short. If I'm bidding three hearts to make, I don't really want to play in clubs because that'll score less if I make it. But I'm gonna partner's expected shape, gun to my head, right, is probably something like 2-6-4-1, maybe 1-6-4-2. And facing either of those, I have a problem with my spades, or I have a problem with my clubs, or sorry, with my diamonds either way. But I don't know. I'm going to bid three clubs, and I'm maybe regret that. But all right. Well, I pushed them to three spades. I do have four trumps, but I don't have enough to be confident that they're wrong. And I think double is asking for a lot here, so I'm just going to go ahead. And now the interesting question is, what do I lead? I could lead the ace of hearts and maybe go for a heart ruff. I could lead a diamond and go for a diamond ruff. I could lead the ace of clubs and try to give partner a ruff or establish a tap. I think I'm going to go with the ace of clubs because dummy rates to have the king of clubs, if anything, right? Because they made a takeout double. And I kind of want to get a tap. Like I want to at least have the threat of a tap going, where, if I really start driving clubs, maybe a declarer is going to sort of be forced to do something that they don't want to do. So we'll give that a shot and see where that goes. Oh, interesting. All right. So partner had four clubs and decided not to even give me a little bump when I showed long clubs. Interesting. Well, I can't say that I agree with partner's decision. Yeah. So this is not good because we can, even if we were to pitch this whole way, right? Even if we were to pitch four times, declarer already pitched one heart. Partner pitched two. So partner's got a stiff spade, two diamonds, six hearts, and four clubs, which means declarer is going to be able to pitch a second time on the last diamond. So we're going to have to rough this. And basically, if partner has the king of hearts, we'll beat it. If they don't, we don't. Because we don't really have the luxury of waiting. Oh, okay. Wow, they had the king, queen, jack of hearts. Okay, well, so, partner did have four hearts, as we, sorry, five hearts, as we maybe suspected. And I guess we did kind of all we could here, but it's still a little disappointing to only be plus 50 when partner has we have such a great fit between us. But I guess it is worth noting that in hearts, the hand actually doesn't play very well because partner's diamonds wind up becoming sort of a liability. And with the club finesse offside, you can't really like you can't draw trumps and set up clubs and rough your losers without the whole thing falling apart. So, we, I guess, did well to not, insist on hearts at least. And here we have this hand technically meets the rule of 20, but stiff king, Jack 10 doubleton, vulnerable, bad club suit. If partner bids a spade, I'll have to rebid 2 clubs and we might miss a heart fit. Like at the, when you start getting down into like reason number 6 not to open the bidding, I think it's, you can be forgiven for passing. And so here now we get to bid a heart and make sure that we get to our heart fit if we have one. Partners pass kind of implicitly, says, if they had 3 hearts, they would have made a support double. If they had 4, they would have raised, so they got 2. And now the question is, what do we do about it? We could bid 2 clubs. Partner probably rates to have 4 spades. They didn't raise. They didn't preempt originally, so partner probably rates to have 4 spades a lot of the time. 4 spades, 2 hearts, 4 or 5 diamonds, 2 or 3 clubs. And, the interesting thing is that because they didn't raise, I kind of just want to bid a no trump. It's match points, and I have a reasonable hand. Partner opened the bidding. I'm going to bid a no trump. Who needs stoppers anyway? We'll see if I need stoppers. Nope. See, who needs stoppers? And partner has the king, jack, and clubs. Beautiful. So let's see. What's our plan? We're going to try to establish clubs. We have some entry problems where, with the ace of hearts is really our only entry to our hand. So it's going to be kind of annoying if they knock that out before we can get clubs going. Some part of me wants to win the king of spades or something to make sure of that, but it still is it's no use, and it's also potentially giving up tricks. So we're going to conduct that, and let's see. So all of this is kind of in line with West having 5 spades, and East's remaining spade is one of the ones lower than the 5. There's 2 missing lower. So this is all kind of, as expected. East probably has 6-2 or 6-3. And West has the rest. And we really like to get these clubs going. If they play the ace of clubs, we want to unblock the king just in case they really, really put it to us and play 2 rounds of hearts now. But they haven't done that yet, at least. So let's see how this goes. So they're going to do that, and they're going to drive out the spin. Okay. So that's reasonable. And East showed up with the ace of clubs. And keep in mind, both opponents are past hands. So there's sort of a little bit of a balancing act that has to take place here. West showed up with the ace queen of spades. East showed up with the ace of clubs. That means either of them could have the ace of diamonds and the king of hearts. So the good news is that the clubs split. So we have 4 club tricks and the ace of hearts ready to fire. If we were to play a diamond and they win it with the ace as East, then probably that means that the king heart. Well, that definitely means the king hearts is with West, pretty much. They could have ace king, I guess, but it's not likely. Anyway, we'll play a diamond and see what happens. Yeah, so West won that anyway, so they can take their 2 spades while we pitch heart losers, and that's the end. Okay. So we did reasonable enough. And again, bidding a no trump and scoring 120 instead of playing in clubs, for example, is kind of a big winner here. The fact that they didn't raise and they're both past hands, it's kind of a dead giveaway that, hey, even though we don't have a stopper, we probably want to play no trump. And you could make a strong case for partner just bidding 1 no trump over 1 spade. I actually, my preference there is to play that you just pass with all those hands. And, like we did here, if you don't have a stopper, but you have a reasonable hand, you bid a no trump and stop. Who needs stoppers anyway? In fact, we won a trick with one of our spades. We had a spade stopper. Um, anyway, so this is an interesting one. It's a full 19, stiff king. We could open a club and read it 2 hearts in reverse. And with the idea that, maybe we will be able to sort of show our shape and have a nice constructive auction, or we could take the more practical, maybe robot friendly approach. I might do this with any other partner as well. We have a reasonable 5-card suit. We have 19 points. So screw it. We're going to bid 2-0. And, 2-0, 3-0 is a lot easier than a club thing. 2 hearts, more things, back and forth. So, we bought a not amazing dummy, but let's see how we do it in 3. So they did manage to lead our singleton, of course, but that's fine. We, looks like they maybe even led away from the ace, given carding at trick 1, in which case, that's not so bad, right? We still have the queen of diamonds as a stopper. And, if we hadn't opened 2-0, maybe they wouldn't have let us score our stiff king. So we want to get to work on setting up one of our round suits. We could set up clubs or hearts or both. It feels like we kind of want to actually go after hearts first, which is counterintuitive. But if we lead a club to the queen and it holds, I guess we could play a club back to the ace and then just drive clubs or something. That's not the end of the world. I'm just thinking, if we lead a heart to dummy and something good happens, that's probably going to be better, because we could always fall back on a club finesse or something. But let's play a club. That we're going after the 5-card suit rather than the 4-card suit seems quite reasonable. And okay, so the queen of clubs held. It's interesting. I wish I knew Leah's rules about carding a little better as to whether or not I should believe this 8 of clubs, or because Leah played the 3 and then the 8. And so if Leah had 8-3, would they have played 8 and then 3 always, or at least reliably often enough to make some inference? Or can they still have 2? I don't know. It's interesting. Let's see. Is there any reason to? I guess we'll duck this just in case. But yeah, they're going to win 9 anyway. So because we might as well sort of keep control there. So now we have an interesting decision, right? Did West actually lead away from the ace, or did they lead low and East just kind of saw, the 4th best, so declare must have stiff honor. So why waste anything else? Well, we could certainly make the case for why West would underlead again, because if they play ace and another, then they kind of now unless they have the king of hearts, there's sort of communication issues. So I think we're gonna go for it and just play the queen. All right. So they did in fact underlead, which is bad, right? It means that, well, it's interesting. It means if they underled, it means that they might have been a little bit worried about entries, right? Because if they played ace in another, then we could have won it, and they would have needed the king, the king of hearts or some other late entry to get back in. I could play a spade to my hand, and I guess, is there a reason to play a spade to my hand versus a heart to the ace? Well, if I play a heart to the ace and I play clubs and then I play a heart and I'm wrong, I've given up control of the hearts. And it's possible they could run a few hearts and then run a few diamonds, and that would be bad. If I play a spade and I guess hearts wrong, I probably wasn't going to be making many more tricks anyway. So I'm just going to play a spade and give up on that. All right. So the little inference about the 8 of clubs was actually that held true. That's neat. So, or at least we haven't disproven it, right? That Leah might play 8 from 8-3, but you know, from 10-8-3, they played low. So we'll add that one into our little database of information that we keep around to, and sometimes it's helpful to sort of get to know the bots a little bit. So we don't need these diamonds, and so at this point, if we give up a heart to whoever, right, they're going to win it and cash 2 diamonds. And excuse me, if we don't give up a heart, then like we know that the diamonds are 4-3, and we know that whoever wins the heart is going to cash the diamond. So there's no reason to play a low heart at this point. So we'll just bang ace hearts and be done with the hand, because there's kind of nothing more we could do. And sure enough, the little thing about entries was right, that East had the king of hearts and not West. So if they played ace of diamonds diamond, they would have cut off their hand, basically. So, all right. So we did quite reasonable there, I think. So red is the worst time to compete at match points. So with this sort of hand where I have both my kings under the opening bidder, I'm vulnerable. I have all the even numbered hearts, but they're all very, very bad ones. If I had any other colors, I would double. Wouldn't think twice about it with this hand. But at these colors, I'm going to stay out, because red is bad, because when you go down, they're getting 100 trick. And also, when you were right in your competitive, when you were right and you actually make your contract, you might have not been as right as you think, because some of the time they were going down. And so it's sort of a worst of both worlds when it's all red. And by the same token, it's the best of all worlds for competing very aggressively when everybody is not vulnerable, because even if you go down 1 or maybe even down 2, that's still going to be better than their thing. And when you're right and you were making your contract, you had to beat them 3 tricks in order to make up for that a lot of the time. So if we didn't want to bid the first time, if we were even thinking about bidding now, we should have bid the first time. We're not thinking about bidding now, so we're going to go ahead and pass and see what happens. So the ace, king, queen of hearts probably wouldn't have been great for playing in hearts, but all right. So the one thing about Leah is she doesn't give attitude signals, so I can't really safely Leah low diamond, because it is still possible that, as declarer, declaring Leah has ace 10 whatever of diamonds, and I'm just giving up a trick for no reason. So we'll go ahead and continue with the queen. All right, so partner has the ace of diamonds. Hooray. What does that do for us? Nothing. So we don't really want to be on lead anymore. I don't really want to play another diamond, both because it's possible we could be giving a rough slough, and also, even if we're not, we're probably just helping declare rough out their losers, and strip out the hand. Whereas if we just get out a heart, nothing sort of crazy is going to happen. They'll probably finesse into our spade. We can get out another heart, and so. Why are we splitting? Okay. I have a bad feeling I'm about to be end played. So, sure feels that way. Okay, so declarer has 5 spades. That's no good. All right. Well, so at least I didn't, for whatever reason, they didn't strip the spade. Maybe it was because there wasn't, there wasn't actually an end play. It was just they have a loser. I was gonna say, if they had the queen of clubs, they should have stripped roughed the diamond and dummy before doing that, and maybe created some problems. And maybe because I was so confident in being end played, I should have unblocked king of spades. But looking at the 10 of clubs in dummy, even if I got out of my own way, it's not clear it would have been that useful. So let's see. What does Leah play 3 notes? Spade short notes. Yeah, that's not. So I tend to like to bid 2 clubs rather than 2 diamonds on these sorts of game forcing hands and keep 2 diamonds as showing 5. Leah plays 2 clubs as just 3+ and 2 diamonds as 4. So, maybe I should have just bid 2 diamonds, but I, I, I don't know. Now that I find out the partner has clubs and spades, though, do I even really want to tell them about my support? Like, not that much. I have king, queen, jack of diamonds, king, jack, 10 of hearts. Like, this hand I'm 4 triple 3. I have no aces. This hand just screams no trump to me. So, I'm going to obscure the fact that I have support at all. And hope that I don't get punished for that. So this seems, I'd rather play this hand in 3 now. Like, we get the heart lead, so that solves our heart problem. We can knock out the ace of diamonds and take 3 diamonds, 3 clubs, 3 hearts, and a spade for sure. We have a shot at another trick in clubs, and maybe a shot at a trick in spades. So at this point, we'll play a club to hand and kind of take a conservative-ish approach of just a spade to the jack. The 9 is interesting, and the king, Leah is pretty reliable, I think, about not winning the higher of touching honors in these spots. So, we could be pretty confident, I think, that West had the queen anyway. But, this sort of solved the issue, and we lost the same 2 tricks in 3 that we would have lost in 4 spades. So at least at match points, I think we made clearly the right decision. And even at IMS, I think it probably rated to be right, but I would have been a little more scared of maybe facing a stiff heart or something. We get to a silly 3-0 instead of just playing our normal 4 spades. Anyway, thanks for joining, and see you all in the next one.